Hello from the Gateway State. This is Ogtv News at 8 and I am Yabo Awojola. On the news. Nigeria Governors Forum pledges support for National Assembly's ongoing constitution review process. Senate approves Tinubu's 1.77 trillion naira loan request. European Union to construct hydropower stations in Ogun State to boost electricity supply. Plus, ICC issues arrest warrants for Netanyahu, others over war crimes against humanity.
And to come up on the business segment of the news, federal government unveils consumers' credit scheme to buy local products. I'll bring you details of this and more stories in the business segment of the news. My name is Opeyemi Abdul. Don't go away.
Still on the news, Gateway United Football Club confirms Festus Harlan as new head coach. Join me on the fourth segment of the news for the details of this and other updates. I am Shiyalo. Stay with us.
Leadership is not about titles, positions, or flow charts. It is about one life influencing another. You can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and Ogtv website on www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And for the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. And now the news in detail. The Nigerian Governors Forum has pledged to collaborate with the legislative arm of government in the ongoing constitutional amendment. The governors made the pledge after its meeting in Abuja, where they hosted the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, who briefed them on the progress of the amendments. According to the communique issued by the forum after the meeting, Kalu, who is the chairman of the Committee on the Review of the Constitution, emphasized the importance of collaboration between the forum and the committee, proposing the establishment of a one-stop-shop framework to align state-level priorities with the constitutional review process. The forum also engaged with the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, on strategies to reposition Nigeria's education system for improved outcomes. According to the forum, the minister provided an overview of the challenges, including out-of-school children and high rates of learning poverty, particularly in the Northeast and Northwest regions. The forum reaffirmed its commitment to collaborate with the federal government and development partners to address these challenges and align efforts towards achieving SDG 4. The House of Representatives has rejected a bill seeking to amend the 1999 Constitution to allow for a single tenure of 6 years for the President, state governors, and area council chairman. The bill, sponsored by Ikenga Ugochinyere and 33 others, also sought the rotation of the office of the President between the North and South regions and the governorship among the 3 senatorial districts of each state of the Federation. The proposed legislation seeks to alter Section 76, 116, 132, and 136 in the 1999 Constitution as amended. The bill also rejected the lawmakers when it was put to a voice vote by the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, who presided over the plenary. The Senate has granted approval to the 1.77 trillion naira loan request of President Bola Tinubu after a voice vote in favor of the request. The Senate, presided by Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin, approved the loan after the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, chaired by Senator Wamaka Magatarkada, presented a report of the committee. The request, which was submitted by the President on Tuesday, is part of a fresh external borrowing plan to partially finance the 9.7 trillion naira budget deficit for the 2024 fiscal year. The fresh loan is expected to stretch the amount spent on debt servicing by the federal government. The Central Bank of Nigeria recently said that it cost the federal government $3.58 billion to service foreign debt in the first 9 months of 2024. The CBN report on international payment statistics showed that the amount represents a 39.77% increase from the $2.56 billion spent during the same period in 2023. The Minister of State for Health, Dr. Ishaka Adekunle Salako, has restated the commitment of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu to the nation's health sector. Salako said the agenda is to provide all Nigerians, particularly the vulnerable population, qualitative, accessible, affordable, and responsive healthcare services. He noted that the recently released medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper has as part of its key objectives improvement of health crisis preparedness and revitalization of the nation's health system. He called on state governments to borrow a leaf from this commitment to ensure faithful implementation of the Health Renewal Compact signed in December 2023. Dr. Salako stated this in his opening remarks at the opening council session of the 65th National Council on Health in Maiduguri, Borno State. Apart from health research, which is being prioritized by his ministry, Dr. Salako said efforts are on to improve and maintain standards at service, research and ethical levels through inauguration of strategic committees in line with the National Health Act 2014 and other extant laws. As the Ogun State government, through the Ministry of Information and Strategy, works to ensure all children, irrespective of their background, are given a chance to live and thrive, stakeholders must continue to collaborate to promote essential family practices that are the cornerstone of child survival and development. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Strategy, Alhaji Wahid Adeshina, made this known at the last meeting of State Social Mobilization and Technical Committee at the instance of the Ministry and UNICEF held at Okimoson, Abeokuta. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
The objectives of the meeting include strengthening mobilization for child survival and development programs, deliberation to address misinformation and vaccine hesitancy, and discussion on promoting proper usage of insecticide-treated nets. Stakeholders comprising representatives of the Ministries of Health, Agriculture, Community Development, National Population Commission, National Orientation Agency, civil society and non-governmental organizations, and the media are part of this meeting to bring forward ideas on the best way forward. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Strategy, Alhaji Wahid Adeshina, said with an unwavering commitment to effective communication and dissemination of vital information, the ministry has been a vital channel for reaching the citizens.
Educating ourselves on these issues will enable us to better inform the public and combat the spread of false information, thereby protecting the health of our communities. Additionally, we have with us a member of Health Promotion Unit, Public Department of the Ministry of Health.
The program director, Kemi Eredaro Yusuf, stated that the meeting is yet again a demonstration of collective dedication to ensuring health and well-being of every child in the state is protected.
We have lessons to share as stakeholders, and we want to learn from you also. Our goal is not just to disseminate information, but to inspire action and foster behavioral change within our communities.
Alhaji Wahid Elegbede made a presentation on myths, misconception, rumor, and fake news against immunization, while Dokas Adiaga spoke on current distribution of insecticide-treated nets in the states. Stakeholders made their submissions, opinions and recommendations on the best way of addressing misinformation, misconception about the insecticide-treated nets and vaccines. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
To create awareness, provide comprehensive behavioral health services designed to empower, support, and foster inclusive communities for children on the autism spectrum, Otumba Abiola Shogaolu officially launched the Lighthouse Autism Center in Abeokuta. The event held in Abeokuta also coincided with Otumba Shogaolu's 60th birthday celebration as the community gathered to celebrate the milestone. Aderonke Oladili reports.
Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, is a developmental condition that impacts how individuals interact with others, affecting approximately 1 in 36 children. Autism encompasses a broad range of symptoms, from challenges in social skills to repetitive behaviors and difficulties with both speech and nonverbal communication. In an effort to provide specialized care and services for children with ASD, Otumba Abiola Shogaolu has officially launched the Lighthouse Autism Center in Abeokuta, marking a significant milestone not only for the community but also in celebration of his 68th birthday. Dr. Grace Bamigboye delivered a paper in which she discussed the dynamics of autism and the specific support required for children on the spectrum.
It's high time we look into their education. It's very important because they are blessed with skills. But because we play the waiting game, that waiting game and denial, although my joy is not my portion, you see the child showing symptoms that if you intervene on time, you could get the child to recover, you could build skills in that child.
Stakeholders shared their messages of support, underscoring the significance of the launch.
Tell the parents that of those who have children living with disability to make sure that they bring them forth. They should not look down on them. They should be encouraged individually and see to the fact that these children, this set of individuals, are given a sense of belonging in the society.
And look that you have added value to the lives of these innocent children. I want to encourage every one of us that we should try as much as possible to emulate a gesture like this.
For Otumba Abiola Shogaolu, the celebrant and founder of the center, the launch was a deeply personal endeavor. As a parent with an autistic child, he revealed his motivation came from his own experiences navigating the challenges of raising an autistic child.
From other areas of life, I feel a lot of things are lacking in our society. A lot of support for caregiver and advocacy for this set of people is actually necessary. So I just feel that this is an area that I want to challenge my resources, to challenge my energy, and to assist these people.
After the launch, the atmosphere of the celebration transformed with Otumba Shogaolu's 60th birthday, adding to the significance of the event, making it truly memorable. Aderonke Oladili, Ogtv News.
Autism, popularly known as autism spectrum disorder, is a broad-range condition characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behavior, speech, and non-verbal communication. Autism is approximately 1 in 36 children and 1 in 45 adults. Medical practitioners categorize autism as neurological condition and not a disease. Toyin Ogudikpe's report is presented in this package.
Globally, over 70 million people have autism spectrum disorder. Out of 1% of the world's population, 1 in 100 children are diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder as of 2021. The range and severity of symptoms can vary wildly. Its common symptoms include difficulty with communication, difficulty with social interaction, obsessive interest, and repetitive behaviors. According to experts, no cure exists for autism spectrum disorder. However, the goal of treatment is to maximize child's ability to function.
Co-occurring diseases. Sometimes some of them could have mental retardation, and some could actually have hearing illness that comes with it, may need treatment. So they may be using medication for that, you know. And apart from that, they really don't have to use medication because of the spectrum.
Some of them combine autism with intellectual disability, which makes them to be functioning lower than their peers. So in that situation, we have to have a specialized educational plan or individualized educational plan for them to assist them so that they will be able to meet the standard of others too.
Parents living with children with special needs says raising autism children is quite challenging, urging government intervention.
So raising them is not an easy task at all. It's not easy. We talk of the finances and how to really take good care of them. And to take care of one autistic child is more than taking care of 10 normal children.
Children with intellectual disability, where autistic children can fit in, where cerebral palsy children can fit in. As of this morning, as of today, there is none. But we are pleading to the Ogun State government to do something for us about it, so that at least these children will have where to go. In fact, some of them that can school, when we take them to public schools, they don't take them.
A medical practitioner says early intervention is required to treat children with autism.
You are still watching Ogtv News. Just ahead, military neutralizes 115 terrorists, arrests 289, rescues 138 kidnapped victims in 1 week. More news and reports after the break. Do stay. Glad to have you back with us again. The European Union is to construct hydropower stations in Ogun State and 6 other states in Nigeria. National Program Coordinator, Environment and Energy at United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Mr. Oluyomi Banjo, made this disclosure at a 2-day workshop on circular economy in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Fowora Adisonwu reports.
A peep into a better Nigeria with off-grid renewable energy by the state. Stakeholders in the circular economy brainstormed in Abeokuta with the Ogun State Ministry of Environment and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization UNIDO, providing a pathway on how to advance Nigeria green and just transition to near zero high circular economy practice. Gurus in academia were not left out. Setting the agenda for the program, Ogun State Commissioner for Environment Olaore Sonya said Ogun State leads while others follow in circular economy.
And solar, these are clean energy sources that can support industrial growth. And that is why in Ogun State, in the next 2 days, we'll be looking at the energy mix, the energy program, and our energy policies, and how this can affect industrial growth. Looking at the quantum of clean energy that we can produce in Ogun State, what can policy and legislative instruments drive to make sure that we grow on this clean energy.
The National Program Coordinator, Environment and Energy at the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, Oluyomi Banjo, affirmed that European Union has elected Ogun, Lagos, Kano, Anambra and Abia states with other 3 states for hydropower plants, which will improve the energy base of the country that is near comatose.
There is actually a bigger project. So this is one component of the project. There are two projects in one. This is one component. The other component has a part that we will be setting up small hydro power stations across the country. So we will set up 6 hydro power stations across the country. And a lot of negotiations are already ongoing with some state governments to do this.
According to Banjo, no nation can thrive without resolving its energy crisis with a homegrown solution.
So we have 5 core states, which are Abia, Anambra, Kaduna, Ogun, and Ondo. And the associate states are Lagos, Rivers, and Kano.
Special advisor to the governor on energy, Jide Onokoya, in his paper said Ogun State has wherewithal to sustain circular energy with a robust academia and stakeholders. The permanent secretary, Ministry of Environment, Dr. Samuel Oyineye, called for a policy with an inbuilt mechanism to implement a full-blown circular economy for the nation. Adefowura Adesonwo, Ogtv News.
The outstanding performances of learners, teachers and schools in Ogun State at local, national and international competitions have been ascribed to the policy of Prince Dakwa Abiodun's administration on education. Ogun State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, made this affirmation during the presentation of another set of learners who have made the state proud again by winning first positions in core science subjects such as mathematics, physics, biology and computer science, and others at the 64th National Conference of Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, STAN, held in Abuja, expressed gratitude for the positive results of the revitalization agenda in both public and private schools.
The way that which our students are winning awards, it's like maybe we create a department for awards so that that department will just be receiving them and then compiling them. So I'm really very happy to see that our students are winning awards. It means that a lot of good things are happening in the Ogun State education sector. And I think we want to give a round of applause to all these winners to appreciate them, and also give another round of applause to the governor, Dr. Dakwa Abiodun, CON, because not only do we have our students from the private schools winning, we also have our students from the public schools winning, which means we are not actually leaving anybody behind. We are happy to see all our students doing well, winning awards and doing us proud.
The Commissioner applauded the doggedness among the students in Ogun State that continue to provoke healthy competitions and spirit of sportsmanship in schools, appreciating the local organizing committee of the competition for their unrelenting efforts in preparing the learners towards achieving the best for their locality. Earlier, the Director of Education, Department of Science and Technology, Mrs. Abosede Edun, while presenting the proud winners of the awards to the Commissioner from Primary Schools category to the Junior and Senior Secondary Schools, disclosed that Ogun State won 7 gold, 2 silver and 1 bronze medals to become second overall best behind Lagos among the 36 states of the Federation. On his part, the chairman, STAN, Ogun State Chapter, Dr. Yomi Ononuga, said the unquantifiable support by the ministry in provision of every resources needed brought about remarkable improvement in the students' performance during the competition. Speaking on behalf of other proprietors, Honorable Ahmed Omishori, the proprietor of the Genius Oliver College, Tigbo Ota, Ogun State felt very proud for a school, though located in the rural area, but among those that made the state name to be written on the marble of great achievement, commending the LOC for their contributions towards the best performances. The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology has announced that the 2024-2025 first term examination in all public primary and secondary schools, as well as government science and technical colleges and government technical and vocational college, has been scheduled to commence on Monday, 25th November to Wednesday, 4th December 2024. Commissioner in the ministry, Professor Abeokuta, implored principals to make adequate arrangement towards the successful conduct of this exercise, while learners are enjoined to comport themselves well during the examination. He assured that the ministry has put in place necessary machinery towards a hitch-free conduct of the examination. The federal government has begun deploying consular officers to diplomatic missions worldwide before the anticipated release of the ambassadorial list. This move comes 14 months after 83 ambassadors were recalled in September 2023. Following President Bola Tinubu's inauguration, a reassessment of foreign policy led to the recall of the 83 ambassadors, both career and non-career, from their post in September 2023, but the subsequent appointment of replacements has yet to take place. The envoys were instructed to return to Nigeria by October 31, 2023, marking a shift in diplomatic strategy and suggesting that the government was looking to realign its foreign engagements to better serve national interests. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tugar, had said the ambassadors served at the President's behest in their host nations and that it was the President's prerogative to send or recall them from any country. Tugar added that it was part of a strategy to realign Nigeria's foreign engagements. The recall was done, but it left a diplomatic void as no replacements have been announced ever since. As part of measures to boost service delivery and sanitize airports across the country, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has disclosed plans to appoint voluntary special airport marshals. The marshals, who are expected to be residents in cities where airports are located, will be appointed by the Minister in collaboration with relevant stakeholders. The marshals would comprise individuals from the fourth estate of the realm, non-governmental organizations, and representatives of state governors. The marshals are expected to conduct unscheduled visits to the airports, monitor staff conduct, and assess the general hygiene and conditions of the airports. The key decisions are aimed at improving service delivery and environmental conditions of these facilities. The Legislative Council members of Ifo, local government area of Ogun State, have been inaugurated with Honorable Samuel Bangboye emerging as the leader of the House. All Progressives Congress members and chieftains present at the ceremony enjoined the legislators to work in tandem with the executive arm to ensure evenly distribution of the dividends of democracy to the people. Ayodeji Tomori Oluwami has more.
Election has come and gone. Now it is the time to hit the ground running. The chairman of Ifo local government, Idris Kushimo, in company of APC leaders in the local government, inaugurated the 9th Legislative Council at the Secretariat's Legislative Chamber. Honorable Samuel Bangboye, who emerged as the leader of the House after a unanimous vote by the lawmakers, promised to work in synergy with the executive arm of the local government for a common goal.
We will legislate laws that will bring development and dividends of democracy to the people of Ifo local government. And we are going to give our unflinching support to the executive arm of Ifo local government.
APC chieftains and members at the inauguration ceremony admonished the new administration to work in line with Prince Dapo Abiodun's Ishaya mantra to provide the dividends of democracy for the people.
I will only ask them to work in tandem with the grassroots so that the people at the grassroots level can enjoy dividend of democracy. My advice to them is for them to work together because the synergy of both of the arms of government will produce a good vision for Ifo local government.
What our people are expecting is dividend of democracy. It should focus on how to better the life of our people.
All he needs to do is to feel the impulse of his people and move closer to them.
once it's not far from his people, definitely that's the path to success.
I want to advise that they should build a cordial working relationship with the state and even the national.
The executive chairman, Idris Kushimo, promised to deliver on his electionary promises by ensuring an inclusive government in Ifo local government.
Our government is going to be the best since the inception of Ifo local government. We are going to follow the mantra of our governor, which is the share, agriculture, education, health, and we are going to be doing more of rural development.
Ifo local government area of Ogun State consists of 11 wards located in Ogun Central. Ayodeji Tomori Olunmi, Ogtv News.
In commemoration of the 2024 World Television Day, the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria (BON) has said television remains the medium to beat in the advancement of democratic governance globally and most especially in Nigeria. In a statement by its Executive Secretary, Dr. Yemisi Bangboshi, the body noted that since the birth of Western Nigeria Television on the 31st of October 1959, television as channel of communication has been an amazing medium used for the advancement of democratic dispensation, good governance, and promotion of democratic values. It also notes that the broadcast media deregulation policy of 1992, which allowed private ownership of broadcast media in Nigeria, has further kept television in the front line of democratic advancement. Today, in Nigeria, according to the statement, Nigeria has over 100 television stations, including direct-to-home owned by government and private individuals, with many of them running 24 hours transmission to ensure prompt, adequate, and accurate information dissemination and entertainment. It, however, calls for urgent intervention of government in the operations of the stations in view of what they are facing under the harsh economic situation occasioned by high cost of energy, just as it charges practitioners to always adhere to professional ethics. In a decisive effort against insecurity, Nigerian troops neutralized 115 terrorists, arrested 289 suspects, and rescued 138 kidnapped victims in the past 1 week. Additionally, they thwarted all theft worth 921.84 million naira and dismantled extensive illegal refining operations. Major General Edward Buba, Director of Defense Media Operations, disclosed these accomplishments during a briefing highlighting the military's robust nationwide campaigns. Southeast troops eliminated 6 terrorists, arrested 13 suspects, and rescued 1 hostage, while Northeast operations in Borno and Yobe states led to the neutralization of 61 terrorists, the arrest of 134 suspects, and the rescue of 32 hostages. In the Niger Delta operation, Delta Safe tackled economic sabotage, resulting in the destruction of 56 illegal refining sites and 78 crude oil cooking ovens. General Buba emphasized the military's resolve to create a safer environment for citizens, acknowledging the sacrifices made by troops in the fight against terrorism and economic sabotage. Business News is next when we return. Do stay.
Thank you for joining us on the business segment of the news. The Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation has kicked off its project tagged Securing Consumer Access for Local Enterprises, an initiative to accelerate the growth of local industries by providing consumers credit to Nigerians, specifically for the purchase of goods and services of local vendors and manufacturers. A statement noted that this was part of President Bola Tinubu's vision for the acceleration of consumers' credit access for Nigerians to improve quality of life, stem corruption, and catalyze industry. It notes that Scale connects Nigerians' consumers with credible local manufacturers and vendors across critical sectors while ensuring consumers afford these products via affordable consumers credit. Credit Corps seeks to drive an initial 1 million credit-backed consumers to local vendors and manufacturers. The statement adds, as it invites local vendors and manufacturers to participate in the program. The Naira broke through the 2,180 Naira barrier and began Thursday's session at the lower end of its range against the British pound sterling. The pound was trading at 2,188 Naira per 1 euro on the black market on Thursday, despite better conditions in Nigerians' foreign exchange assets held by the CBN. The Naira faced more headwinds in the unofficial market amid high demand for the dollar and a widening supply gap. The Nigerian currency was trading as low as 1,750 Naira per dollar. Moving on, the average price of liquefied petroleum gas, cooking gas, rose by 3.32%, month-on-month, increasing from 6,699.63 Naira recorded in September 2024 to 6,915.69 Naira in October 2024. This is according to the latest cooking gas price watch report from the National Bureau of Statistics. On a year-on-year basis, the price of cooking gas rose significantly by 51.58%. From 4,562.51 Naira in October 2023 to 6,915.69 Naira in October 2024. The data also indicates that the Northeast region recorded the highest average price, making residents in that region pay the most for cooking gas. According to the report, the average price of a 5-kilogram cylinder of LPG in the Northeast stood at 7,319.03 Naira. The Federation Accounts Allocation Committee has disbursed a total of 1,411 trillion Naira to the federal government, state government and local government council for October 2024. This was disclosed in a communique issued by Mr. Bawa Mokwa, Director of Press and Public Relations Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, after the FAC meeting held in Bauchi State. The meeting, chaired by the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Madei, followed the 2024 National Council on Finance and Economic Development hosted by the Bauchi State Government. The communique further revealed that a total gross revenue of 2.668 trillion Naira was generated in October. However, deductions for the cost of collection amounted to 97.517 billion Naira, while transfer interventions and refund total 1,159 trillion Naira. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has introduced its latest crude oil grade, the Utapate crude oil blend, to the international market. In a statement issued in Abuja, the Chief Corporate Communications Officer Olufemi Shuneye announced that the Nigerian product was showcased before a large gathering of European crude oil marketers at the Argos European Crude Conference in London, England. Shuneye disclosed that NNPCL intends to double production from the Utapate grade by the end of 2025, increasing output from the current 40,000 barrels per day to 18,000 barrels per day. The Utapate crude oil blend extracted from the Tape field in oil mining lease 13 located in Akwa Ibom State is similar to the Nembe crude oil grade with a low sulfur content of 0.0655% and a reduced carbon footprint due to the elimination of flare gas. It meets the stringent specification of major European buyers. And finally, on the business news, the Lagos-based Mega Dangote refinery has resumed importing crude oil from the United States after a 3-month pause as the facility increases its production level. The refinery purchased around 2 million barrels of WTI Midland crude from Chevron Co., according to anonymous sources familiar with the deal. The shipment is expected to arrive at the 650,000 barrels per day petrochemical plant in Lagos next month. Earlier in the year, the refinery regularly imported 1 or 2 shipments of U.S. crude each month in addition to using domestic supplies. However, these imports were reduced around August following an agreement with the federal government that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited will supply crude oil to the refinery in Naira rather than dollars. And that wraps up the business segment of the news. We now go back to Yabo for the rest of the bulletin. Do stay with us.
Thank you, Opeyemi. We now take some foreign news. Judges of the International Criminal Court have issued arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister and former Defense Minister, as well as the military commander of Hamas, over crimes against humanity. And dozens of people are reported to have been killed in overnight Israeli airstrikes in northern Gaza. Meanwhile, Mali's military leader has sacked the Prime Minister Chogol Kokala Meiga and his government. Let's join Iyoluwadeni for the details.
Judges of the International Criminal Court have issued arrest warrants for